Hey, guys, it's Amber.
And Kristen.
And today we're talking do better,
Be
be
better.
better. So, I mean, it's just all around be a better human being.
And we can all be a better human.
Yes,
All of
absolutely.
us have our flaws.
Absolutely. And I just think about this time of year, especially because, we're getting ready to go into the new year. We've just left the holidays, and everybody everywhere is doing New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
And, that should be everybody's New Year's resolution.
Yep. And see, I don't do New Year's resolutions because I'm always like, you should work on yourself throughout the whole year.
Exactly.
It's like people saying, I want to get in better shape. And then January 1st, the gym is slam packed. And then by March, everybody forgot. I know you are. And that's why I don't pay for a gym membership anymore because I'm not dedicated enough to go. But it's just like that is that you make that resolution and you never stick to it. I don't know anybody really that's ever stuck to it completely.
Right.
So I think you should work on yourself throughout the whole year.
Exactly.
Because we can all do better. Like every one of us, none of us are exempt from being bad humans.
And when I say do better, be better, I mean, there's such a wide variety of what you can do to be a better person. Because, well, for instance, and this is what made me even think about talking about this today, is, I'm a scroller on TikTok. I love scrolling on TikTok to see those videos. And I follow, and I'm probably going to botch her name horribly bad, but I follow Michaela Noguera.
She's a makeup artist.
Yes. So
I have followed her since she was like a tiny account.
Yeah, I do too. So, and that's one of the things that she was talking about the other day. She got on there and she was doing like her regular makeup stuff. But she got really emotional during her filming, and she was just like, I've had a lot of stuff that's gone on this past year that I'm just not ready to talk about yet. But the reason why is because she is attacked constantly.
Yeah.
Like constantly online, people attack this woman for, I mean, they say she's fake. They say her accent is fake. They say her makeup, I mean.
And let's be realistic. It doesn't matter how fake you think she is. Her makeup is always bomb.
Yeah, it's like, beautiful.
She always looks amazing.
And people will call me, they do videos on her saying,
There is one that I watch. Like, I cannot watch videos of people bullying people.
Yeah.
And there is this guy that'll pop up sometimes. And I think it's only because her name will pop up in his video. And that's all he does. Like, he makes his personality on bashing her. And I'm like, what do you gain from being an evil person?
Exactly. Like why do you have to be so mean to her? I don't, or to anybody, why?
And let me be very realistic though, because I will treat you accordingly. Now, if you're a good person and you treat me good, I will treat you good all day long. If you treat me poorly, I'm coming back 10 toes down, and I will never stand down on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just who I am. So there's a difference in cowering down to somebody treating you like garbage and standing up for yourself, or just going out of your way to be a bully.
Yeah.
Just to pick on somebody.
My papa used to say all the time, treat others as you would be treated. And I know that's the golden rule, so it's not really, I guess my papa really saying that. But that's what he always told us. And for the longest time growing up, that's what I did. I treated people how I wanted to be treated. But at what point do you say, okay, enough's enough? Like, you've treated me bad enough.
And then I think that when your limit is, because I can forgive and forgive. That is probably my biggest flaw. I forgive people too easily. But once you have pushed me so far and I can no longer trust you, I will never forgive you again. And I believe in a genuine apology. And I also believe in there's people that just say it to move along.
Right. So, see, and I put everybody in a category. Like, everybody in my life,
I love when you tell me about this,
is in a category. I have those that are super close to me that, kind of brings back, reminds me of the Medea saying, where she says that everybody's like a tree that's in your life. You have the roots, then you have the limbs, and then you have the leaves. But I do have those people that are super close to me. I have people that I can be nice to, I can be cordial to, but I know they're true characters. So it doesn't go any further than that, really.
Yep.
And then I have people that I just don't have I just don't want them around me.
I'm the same way. And if I don't want you around me, I do my best to avoid that situation or to avoid you.
Right.
And I will straight ignore you straight to your face if I want nothing to do with you. Because I had
Some
somebody.
people are just draining. They're draining.
I had somebody once say that I was scared of people. And I was like, no, I'm scared of my anger. Because if you've pushed me to the point I'm ignoring you, there's a reason.
Right.
And I don't like bullies. I don't like two-faced people. And I've got a big problem with if you attack me that way, that is when my anger comes out. Because if you judge me as a person and you attack me, that's when my anger is going to come out. And so I know when to walk away from situations. It's something I had to learn as I got older, because used to I would not walk away.
Right.
I would go right back at you.
Right
and sometimes it getting really bad. So at 35, I figured it's time. I was about to say, at 35, I figured it was about time that I started thinking.
So here's my question, or a question. In the service industry now, are people not trained to handle these types of situations? Like, because for instance, I used to manage a finance company. So one of the things that I had to learn early on before I could even be considered for a management position was how to deal with difficult customers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did I always deal with them the best way? No, I did not. I will be the first to admit that. But I look at some people now and I'm just like, are you that miserable with your job that, like, and I guess maybe some people don't have the option to where they can change careers or jobs.
I was going to say, I think a lot of people are overworked and underpaid a lot lately. And I think that brings in a lot of the anger. But I also believe that there is a lot that is not just the service industry. I also believe that it is the customers. They're not trained at home, so when they go out in public, they're treat rude. People so poorly.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about that. I said I used to be a waitress, and one of the experiences I had was somebody tipped me 9 pennies and told me I wasn't worth a dime. And it was on Christmas. We were packed Waffle House. It's always busy on Christmas because it's one of the only places open. And I was taking up for a girl that she had to go take her break. I did not get this man a refill as soon as his drink went empty, and he tipped me 9 pennies and said I was not worth a dime. And this man had perfect service up to that point.
Yeah.
Because he'd already had a few refills. He was guzzling his drinks, and I'm sorry, but when you see people packed out to the parking lot, like,
you should
be patient.
Know. Yeah, especially when you're the only server that's running around. You know?
It would have been different if I was sitting there on my phone or, right. But I was a kid, so I was 17, so I cried over that. That broke my heart. Now I would have looked at him and laughed and said, you can take those 9 pennies and take them and stick them where the sun don't shine.
Right.
But
I'm very blessed to know. I mean, I have always worked, I guess, in customer service, but as far as like a server or a bartender or something, other than owning the bar, I've not actually been that side of it. And I honestly don't know. I mean, I have, stepped in and helped the girls with our customers here a lot when they get busy or something. But I really can't compare that because our customers are great. We really do have some really great customers here. So I really can't compare that. Now, I do know that we had a bartender here one time, and she called me and she was just like, I mean, you can fire me, take me off the schedule, like whatever you feel like you need to do. But this is what happened today, and this is how I handled the situation. So she had a guy who had started coming in here. And when she was busy one day, she was working by herself. So she was waiting on another customer, and he came in and ordered his drink like immediately as soon as he came in the door. And she said, okay, I'll get you in just a second. And he said, he like grabbed hold of her arm and he said, I don't think you heard me. This is what I want. And so she looked at him very calmly and she said, if you touch me again, it was not very nice what she said.
He's lucky he got a warning because had it been me. Ooh.
So, and she called me, immediately, and she's like, I'm sorry, I should have handled that differently. I said, absolutely not. Like, no, I mean, it's one
nobody
thing,
should put their hands on you.
Exactly. It's one thing being rude with your server or your bartender, which that should not be a thing either. But putting your hands on somebody is something totally different.
No.
And I don't care if you're a regular, if you're new, or whatever the case may be. If somebody else is busy, you can wait a minute.
And it's respect. It's not even. I mean, there is people that just have no respect on your boundaries because I've had when I used to bartend at the Yum Center, I worked in like the nicer bars like the Woodford Bar and stuff, and you would have people grab you. I had a man grab my arm once and like to like not be aggressive, but like to be flirtatious. But he was drinking, and I was like, back away. Like it's okay. Like I'm here to make money, not to like. And but
my space, your space, stay there.
Exactly. Arm's length, please. Yeah. And I know I have short arms, so your arm space.
Yeah.
Your arm length from me. If your tippy fingers can touch me, you're too close.
Yeah, I mean I think that the way that customer service people, I don't know, like it's like a double-edged sword sometimes because like I just said, there are some places that you go in and they act completely miserable. Now, me for one, if I'm not getting good service, then I'm not going to tip very well. I tip accordingly. But I also try to look at the bigger picture of, what's going on. Now, what drives me crazy sometimes is if, for instance, me and Jimmy had gone out to eat one time and the waitress was completely ignoring me.
Oh, that drives me insane.
Like she filled his drink, didn't mind.
And they turn their back to you.
Yes, that's what she did. Them. She turned her back to me. And I get
I'm like, lady,
I'm working the table, getting those tips.
I'm the one that gives the tips. So.
But I'm there too. Like if he's pulling out his wallet to leave money, I'm gonna be like, she didn't do crap for me. No, you know.
Yep.
So don't do that. Don't be one of those people.
Well, and it's too like I'm guilty. I always say darling or hun. I think that's a Southern thing, but I'll do the same thing to the wife or the girlfriend, whoever else is at the table. Like I never, honestly, if there's one thing I've learned in the service industry, you always pay attention to the woman.
Yeah.
Because
that's where
if you please her, men are easy to please.
Yeah.
If you please her,
smile and
But here, I think it's just honestly there's no home training. So that makes it awful. And then there's no like
so where does it start? Respect. I guess it does start at home.
It starts at home. But then again, I say that and then I see some of the things like my kids will come home with from school. And I'm like, whoa, that don't fly in our house. Like where did that come from?
Right.
And they'll say, so and so. And I'm like, well, they're not being taught at home. That's not okay. Like we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a fine line between showing respect.
And that is true because I actually, when you just said that, I had read a Reddit story.
Squirrel.
I know. Yeah. It just made me
I thought it was me this
time.
I made her keep her notebook where I couldn't see it.
But the Reddit story had said that these friends had started going out to
Happy holidays, RJ. Get your butt back to Kentucky though.
Northern Tundra. Oh, that's Michigan, right?
He's in Michigan.
But the guy said that him and his buddy had gone out, and his buddy was always so mean and rude to the servers.
I cannot stand when I go out with somebody like that, and I won't go back out with them either.
So finally, he asked his buddy, he was like, "Dude, like, what's your problem? Why are you doing this? Every single time we go out, you're acting like a complete ass to these people." And he was like, "I mean, that's how you're supposed to treat them, right?" Like the guy seriously thought
he had no idea.
He didn't because that's how his dad treated. And so all growing up, that's what he saw.
That's what he saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. And that's what, like I said, if people act like that when we go out or something, I won't go back out with that person only because like I have those boundaries and morals and I have respect. I give respect. Now, if my waitress is just rude and hateful, I will give you the opportunity to think that you're just having a bad day.
Right.
Now, if you continue to treat me poorly, then I'm not going to be as nice because
sometimes I will say, "I'm sorry you're having a bad day," kind of to point it out to them
that you're being rude.
Yeah.
And I always say, I'm not the one to kill you with kindness.
Maybe roll yourself in a little bit. My husband is not. He will not kill you with kindness at all.
I hate when people say that. I'm like, sorry, I'm not the one you're going to walk all over today.
It would depend on my mood, honestly.
Well,
sometimes.
I
I
have
might, sometimes I
patience to a
won't.
point, but once you pass that point, we're gonna have words. And if it goes further, we're gonna do whatever it goes to. Because I'm very firm on how I believe.
Well, you were just telling me a story the other day about the woman in Walmart that
Oh yeah.
was being mean.
RJ said, "Why do waiters and waitresses wait till your mouth is full to ask a question?" The funny thing is I used to do that as a waitress, and I honestly don't think it's purposeful. But when you're so busy, you don't like, oh, that person's getting ready to take a bite. Let me wait for them
You
to finish
don't
chewing.
pay
You
attention that
don't
their
pay
mouth is
attention to
full.
it. You just walk up to them and you're eating. So of course, what's the chances you're going to have a mouthful? Pretty
Yeah.
high. But yeah, in Walmart the other day, the day before Christmas Eve, so the 23rd, I was at the Walmart and this young girl was just kind of pushing this older woman. And she was older, like in her 80s, along with her cart. Like she was going too slow for her.
Mm-hmm.
And like I wasn't going to intervene. I was just going to sit there and wait and let, the little old lady handle herself. And then I noticed tears. And I was like, I'm done. Like, and I stepped in and I let the girl know and I told her about herself and I said, um, you know, what I had to say. I'm not going to repeat that part. But then I stepped between the old woman and the cart and I was like, I dare you to hit me because I promise we're both going to spend Christmas Eve in jail.
Yeah.
Like, do not hit me. And then after like 10 seconds later.
Why? Like, if you go out, especially.
It's going to be packed.
Yes.
It's going to be
Especially
packed.
on a holiday like that
Mm-hmm.
or certain time of the month, like the first of the month. Because when I worked at the finance company, I absolutely hated going out anywhere, driving the roads on the 1st and the 15th. It was horrible.
Yep.
It was like everybody done lost their mind and they forgot how to drive.
Had no manners.
But I had to go out. Like I had to go to work.
Try driving my SUV.
I do not have to go to Walmart on Christmas Eve.
And see, that was the problem. I had forgotten some stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to go, and which I'm really patient. I'm the one that'll smile at you and say Merry Christmas. Because after I got done going off on that girl and said that, I just looked at her and I said, Merry Christmas. I said, oh, by the way, Merry Christmas. And the little lady was like, to be so small, you stood up to her like a 6-foot grown man. And I was like, I don't care if I'm 3 foot tall. There's one thing, if anybody knows it about me, you don't mess with the elderly or the helpless around me because I will not back down.
But I don't have the patience like you do. Like
And you say that, but it's funny because I really don't have a whole lot of patience. I have patience for specific people, like children up to a point. Because if your children are not home trained, I have a really hard time around those kids. And I understand too as well that, children have disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, whatever, that can make them a little bit wilder. And if I see a mom struggling out, I'll help her.
Right.
That's like going to Walmart or something the other day. There was no carts, like none. And nobody was like putting them in the cart return. They were putting them beside vehicles. So somebody had actually put one into the side of my SUV.
So that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Oh, well, and I hate when people are like, well, I have this many kids and I'm this and that. And I was like, I had just had back surgery and I have 4 small kids. And I still took my cart back. I had 3 at the time. I said, and I still took my cart back. I said, it's either called parking beside the cart return or take your little lazy butt and take it back and you carry the kids back. And if you train your kids the way you should as a mother, they stay right with you.
They can stay.
I mean, it's
or
not
get
hard.
Those little leashes.
My kids, I hate those things. I would not put my kid on a leash. They're not no dog. But my kids were taught growing up, you hold on to my cart and you do not get out of my sight. Like you have to be in my sight. If you're not in my sight, I'm dragging you to my sight.
Well, now what I always did, and I still today, because sometimes I don't like having to walk all the way across the parking lot to put my car back. I will park. I will drive around. I will literally drive around until I can get in close to where a cart return is.
Well, I even took a cart in with me because, and then the guys were out there collecting the carts while I was out there.
So here's the thing. Is it because like the service people, the retail stores and stuff, do you think that they get because they're so overworked? Like
they're overworked, but I also think people take advantage of them because I hear a lot to do with the carts, just because that's what we were on. People don't put the carts back in there because people are paid for that. No, they're paid to go to the cart return to get your cart.
Right. Not chasing them around the parking lot.
Exactly. And they also have how many other jobs they're trying to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have to go to every parking spot and just in and out, in and out, in and out. Furthermore, it is so disrespectful to other people because, I have a nice vehicle. You have a nice vehicle. I don't want my car dented up.
Yeah.
Like I don't. And my SUV barely fits in the parking spot as it is. So I don't need your cart shoved into my car because I have a dent from a cart right after I bought my SUV. You want to talk about crying? I was
Oh, I
like,
bet.
I was so upset because I was like, I just, because you want to take care of the things you have. And I think that's something too, if you're raised to be mindful of others. And like, I know if I pay for, I want to take care of it. I don't care if it's the smallest thing.
That is
I want to take care of
what
it.
is probably drives me crazy the most is because, I was always, my parents constantly told us, leave things better than you found them.
Yep.
Leave stuff in a better condition the way you found it. And people really do not have that type of
That mentality no
morals.
more.
Yeah, they just
No.
don't have, they don't care.
I have noticed people think that they're your servants more than they are your an employee.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, not even just in
the
service
industry.
industry.
You're talking about in general.
Just people in general. They do not have that mentality of taking care of, if you borrowed something. I don't know how many times people have borrowed stuff from my husband and it's lost, it's broke, or we never see it again.
Yeah. And then trust me, I understand that because I'm the first one to lend something to somebody if they need it. And that drives me insane. Because if they
don't take care of, like if they come to visit you, if they're coming to inside your house, or even if they live with you and they do not take care of what's there, what you're allowing them to use while they're there or whatever. When we would go and visit people, even relatives, mom and dad always made sure we picked up after ourselves. Yes. We asked if we could help, our grandparents or aunts or anything.
I always say, because when I go somewhere, I take 4 kids with me.
Yeah.
We're going to leave a mess. That's inevitable. I mean, Caleb, he'll be 3 tomorrow, but my oldest is 14. It's going to be inevitable. My 8-year-old, she's high functioning autistic, so she can make a mess. And my mother-in-law, she'll always say, don't worry about it. And I'm always, no, like I cannot not worry about it because there is no way I would be happy with somebody coming in my home and making a mess and then leaving. Like I don't come to your home for my kids to destroy it and then just leave it the way it was.
Right.
Like if she always gets on me because I'll pick up the broom or I'll do something and I'm like, I cannot help it.
Here, so
I do it here too. But it's because that's just who I am as a person. Like you said, you leave it better than you found it, but that's a genuine thing. If more people would do that, because I will find myself, like I have OCD so bad. If I go somewhere and I see something like on the ground or anything, I'm always picking it up. And like Aubrey, she can testify to this one. Her and I was looking for baby food when Caleb was younger in the Walmart in E-Town, and it was destroyed. So her and I sat there for an hour straightening up the baby food.
And why do people leave stuff like that? And do you know that, and women, shame on you if you are one of these women that do this. If you go into a women's bathroom.
I prefer men's.
Yes, it is disgusting.
I prefer men's bathroom. I have never understood that. I'm a very modest
person.
And men
can be disgusting too.
I know.
But the women's bathrooms
are always
gross.
the worst. I don't know why either because I'm a very cleanly person. So it grosses me out if I go in behind somebody that just like not clean.
Just clean up after yourself. Like it does. It's not that hard of a task.
No.
Like it makes me wonder how these people live. Like what does your house look like if you go into a public bathroom and you're throwing toilet paper that you've
used, or
your
feminine products,
yes, on the ground.
So
like what does your house look like?
What's weird is sometimes like I know some people that are like that. I don't associate with them anymore, but their houses are actually spotless. It's almost like they take advantage of
being out and having somebody else take care of it, cleaning up after it.
So I kind of wonder if that is the situation. Like people just take advantage, but like I mean, though that Walmart, it was packed, and you can tell they're overworked. And I mean, people had left empty boxes and everything, and there was a cart.
Excuses. They will make excuses after excuse after excuse.
Just say you're a crappy person sometimes.
Yeah. Lazy. You're lazy.
Yeah. I mean,
and you're not a good human.
We all have our flaws, but I mean, when your flaw makes everybody else's life a little bit more difficult, that just kind of makes you crappy.
So here's another one: small town versus small town locally owned places versus big town local or big corporate stores. like their employees are different because there
So,
was a story that a woman said, um, I'm I'm locally owned. Like the place that I work for is locally owned, and we have regular customers in all the time. So I'm
mhm.
able to kind of give back, or that gives her the more. What am I looking for? What's the words I'm looking for? Like the to be able to be rude, I guess, to people
Mm.
because they're locally owned, so they don't have those big corporate rules and regulations hanging over them.
See, I see that differently because, like, the big corporations, I feel like they can pay better. Where
Hmm.
mom and pop thought, like, that's what they are, is that one business, or
Yeah,
that they're at one small business. Like
and you
this,
count on those customers to
yep.
keep
It's
coming
just
back.
like Longbranch, your all's business. Uh, this is a very small town, and you
Hmm.
all bring people in from everywhere, because there has been movies and like some really cool stuff that's gone on here, and there is people that come all the way here and said they'll drive past bars to get here.
Hmm.
But that is because of the atmosphere here. And you go to like the bigger places, they may be polite. Like we were at Olive Garden the other day, and my waitress was polite and stuff, but I don't want to hear about your life problems while I'm trying to eat my
Yes,
food.
yes.
I will be polite about it,
I
and
tell
I
my
won't cut
girls
you off.
that all the time. Do not, the
Hmm.
customers come in to relax. They do not want to hear
Well,
about
and
your
sometimes,
issues. Don't
sometimes I
talk
feel like
about it.
people need that vent. So I will be that vent, but don't do it my entire meal.
No,
Like I will
I
be
will not
polite
even
to
be
you.
that vent. I will
See,
cut
I've
you
noticed
off
you.
and be like, "I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Can I get another waitress?"
yeah.
Like I'm
I
just not.
will. I
I'm
will
not that
to. I
person.
will to an extent. Now, if you get it to where, because I have this thing, I don't know why I do this, but I can feed off people's energies. So if you are like a happy cheery person, I will feed off that. But if you are going through something, I will
Mm.
feel every bit of it.
I am.
And I
It's an
have,
empath.
yeah,
You
and I
are, and I
have.
do that too. I guess that's why I
You have to
say,
distance yourself from
yeah.
it.
That's why
Yeah,
I say, no,
that's why
I'm
when
not doing it.
I
I
find
want to
out.
enjoy my bread.
Well, my bread, and you do love your bread. But that's why when I find out that somebody is just not a good person, I'm done.
Hmm.
Because if you can badmouth me, say things behind my back, or run me down to other people, anything like that, I just don't need that around me. So I choose
Because that
distance.
energy, you
It's
feed
awful.
off of that energy.
And I'm not like that to people. So I prefer to be treated the way I treat you.
We had somebody tell us one time, and maybe they reread it somewhere, I don't know, but you are who you hang around with.
You are.
And now, my parents used to say this all the time because when we were growing up, they were very particular about who we ran around with as kids and stuff,
Hmm.
because, they knew the parents or they knew the kid themselves or whatever. And of course, me and my sisters would argue until we were blue in the face because, oh, we would not ever be like that. We
Uh-huh.
would not ever be influenced. But you can. You can definitely
Absolutely. I
be
mean,
influenced.
I was a party girl. So I mean, I was the bad influence when I
Hmm.
was,
I
17,
wouldn't be
18,
able
19.
to hang out with you.
Yeah, I was rough there for a while, and like I was a good kid for a while, but when I turned about 17, that's when I started having my issues and getting really wild and stuff. And so yeah, I was that kid, but the problem was is I was raised right. Like
Hmm.
my dad
So
was so
here's a
strict.
question then, because you said, during that age that's when you started getting
Hmm.
part. But did you still have a conscience about yourself?
Absolutely. Like
See,
even
there's a
when,
difference.
so a lot of people know this about me, but I was an addict. I was addicted to pills, and even then, I still held a full time job. I
Hmm.
never stole. I could never steal. That's why sometimes I don't understand certain things, because when you do have a conscience and you
Yeah.
do feel those things, you can't just
You can't.
like
That's what I
I
get.
could
I
have
don't
never
understand.
stole.
Yeah, I don't
I just
understand how
And if I
people
feel like
do
I
the
owe
things that they
somebody
do.
money or I forget, because I'm a very forgetful person. If I owe you $20, I'm liable to forget. But if I owe you a big amount, I'll remember. And that's something about me. And I was like, I really hope some people don't think that I do these things and don't do it on purpose,
Yeah.
because I never want to see, I never want people to see me negatively over something that's an accident. Now, if you look at me and you're like, oh, she seems like a total bitch, I'm going
Yeah.
to probably, I mean, I don't hide who I am. I'm me. And I did. I told her, I said the last episode, I look like I was being so hateful sometimes. And
But
it's just,
I know that's not
yeah,
her. That's,
I'm not being hateful. That's just my face. That's just how I talk. And I was like, well, I kind of look sarcastic and hateful a few times, but that's the thing with me. And I'm told that sometimes that's hard to read. And I get that, like, because I do have the worst RBF. But I was scared of you at first.
I mean, I do. I have the worst RBF also. Like, I mean, it's just, and you can get past that. I mean, you
Hmm.
can
And it's one
and
thing.
learn about to get to know that person.
Well, and it's
I mean,
one
because
thing.
look at us, we did it.
I know, and our like we literally was told there was no way we would get along,
Hmm.
and it was because we're so much alike. And then now that we realize that, we kind of feed off each other's energy, and we always say we're two peas in a pod, and we have a carrot named Abigail, and she's like our balance because she's the calm one.
She's the
Um,
balance.
but
She's the rational.
yeah, she's the one that the calm in the storm. But that's why, like, I think it's so important to do better, be better, because it's okay and it does not make you a hateful person to know your boundaries.
Mhm.
And if you're walking away from somebody and that person's consistently chasing you or causing issues or whatever, because I'm the first one to call somebody out. I don't care. And if I don't have no respect for you, it's going on Facebook. I don't care. Especially if you lie.
Yeah.
I don't do lies. So I will call you out. And I think that the do better, be better, that's, something I can work on necessarily, because I have an issue with, I do. I stand 10 toes down on my word. And if I know something's not true or I know something's different than what you said, I'm going to defend it.
And
It's
well, and
just
there's a difference between defending it and being
being the drama, being the problem.
yeah,
Because
or
of
being
course,
hateful about it. You know,
well,
I mean, you can tell somebody, and like for me, I've gotten to the point to where I just remove myself. I remove
hmm
myself from you. I remove myself from the
yep.
situation. I just remove myself. I
And that's
will
how I
go
am.
ghost on
And
you.
and then of course people will say, "Oh, you're scared of that person." No, I'm not scared. I have
Mm-mm.
no like.
I love
I
my
just
peace better
exactly.
than I love them.
And I'm telling you, anybody that knows me knows I have no problem standing on my own. I just don't.
So, but here, because there's also a fine line of, like you said, sticking up for yourself
Mhm. Or
or
being the bully.
yeah, just walking away. So back to like the service
Sorry.
industry, we scroll a little bit every once in a while. But here it goes kind of with this.
But if they
If
know
your
us, they know
food
it's.
and drink is wrong,
Mhm.
do you send it back? Because I've gone out with people that will not
I'm pretty
send.
sure you were with me when we went to Texas Roadhouse, and my food was wrong. My steak was cooked like way too done, and it was at Texas Roadhouse, and I was
Did you
like,
tell
"Well, mm-mm,
No, you did
no."
not. See, I will send
Now
it back.
I will send it back if it is nasty, cold, or if it's like I like my steak with pink, and if it's too far done and dry, I have to, because I will get choked.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, I will get choked on it. Like if the steak's dry, so
If
I
anything's
will,
wrong about my food, because if I am out and I am hungry,
and
I'm
I'm
about to
paying
be
for it.
hangry,
Yeah.
and you mean it now, and it's
Um,
not going to go well
well,
if my food's wrong.
and things are so expensive anymore, but I will show grace to my waitress, because we all make mistakes,
Mm,
but I will show you grace to a point. Now, if you continue to mess up or you continue to like be crappy, maybe you're in the wrong industry.
right.
But I get it too.
Because some
Sometimes
people aren't made for this industry, and that's fine.
no,
That's fine. If you're not, that's
um,
fine.
yeah, because I have had some extremely bad waitresses, and I am a very patient person because I know what it's like. The only time I can ever say I lose my anger on anybody that is service wise is the on the phone, when you're calling and you're trying to get stuff handled.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that if I'm explaining something to you, and I do not like handling stuff over the phone, and I will get so frustrated, especially when you keep repeating yourself. And then I'll be the Karen and ask for the supervisor,
Mm-hmm. The
and then all of a
manager.
sudden it gets taken care of. I'm like, so you either didn't understand me, or
You just didn't want to.
you didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the only time that my frustration really comes out against people like that. And I hate it because I know they eat a lot of that. But like this woman that spoke to me, I think it was about my health insurance or something. I don't remember, but I was on the phone with her. And oh, yeah, it was about my health insurance. She was like, "You are the sweetest person." She said, "Most people are just so hateful when their insurance gets messed up." Because
Mm-hmm.
my insurance was not covering my medication. It was like they messed up my insurance somehow.
But it's not their fault.
No.
Like, it's not the person on the phone.
Exactly.
9 times out of 10, it's not their fault.
It's
Now,
never their fault.
It's not.
Because they just handle the problems.
Right. They get the call.
Yeah.
They get the call. That's
But
basically it.
her and I got to talking about, how I raised German Shepherds, and she has a German Shepherd and all this stuff. Like her and I just got to talking personal. And just she was like, this was just a breath of fresh air.
And that makes it a lot easier.
Well, and if people would realize, sometimes if you do that kind of stuff, that's how you get your way.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't doing it to get my way because I'm just like that in general. Like if you know me, I'll tell you my whole life story in 20 minutes, or at least I'll try.
Very true.
I can't help it.
Very true.
It's just that's just who I am. But I mean, she got everything straightened out for me, and I got to call the doctor that wouldn't take me in because my insurance was messed up. They got my medication the next day, and I had gone without my medication for a while. And when you go on off medications you've been on for years, that's hard on you.
It's rough.
And so, I mean, I was so grateful. I actually called her back after everything was straightened out, and I found out it was straightened out, and I got my medication. I was like, I just want to thank you.
And there are very good customer. Like when Jimmy was going through everything with his wreck, and he was going in for surgery, we had to call and get his surgery scheduled. And there was a woman that went above and beyond to get us, because the next scheduled appointment was months and months out. And he was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to get in there a lot sooner. And she made it work. Like, she got him in there a lot quicker. And those people right there, those people are the ones that need to be in the industry.
And they're actually the ones that get crapped on the most.
Yeah, they need to be
because they take their job so well.
So outside of the service industry, what about folks giving their opinions on your life when you don't ask for it? Because do better, be better is a broad spectrum.
Oh, absolutely.
We've hit so much already. But what about the folks that give their opinion when you don't ask for it?
So, like I said about the whole Facebook thing, I'll post stuff on there. I've gotten a lot better about it, but sometimes, like, I know when I do that kind of stuff, I'm not looking for attention, but I'm looking for advice, or help,
or maybe validation.
Yeah, or any of that. However, if you're like, well, you need to keep that off Facebook, or you need to do this. Well, here's my thing. And most of my Facebook's public, but I will make that stuff just for friends. If you are my friend on Facebook, I clearly think something of you, and maybe I just want your advice.
Well, because though, to be kind of, I don't know, like the other side of this, I have so many friends on Facebook, and not because they are close to me or anything, but I mean, maybe I've met them through here, and they've come in to give me, or they've invited or sent me a friend's request or whatever the case may be. But sometimes I do think that too much personal business can be put on Facebook, because I'm just like, why do you do this? Like,
well, and a lot
of times, though, that gets me is the ones who put it in like the community chats.
Yes.
And those are the ones. But
and there is a way.
I don't know.
If you have an opinion on my life, if I'm talking to you about like things going on, I clearly want your advice. However, there's a way to go about giving advice that is not going to beat that person down, because if I'm going to you for advice, I'm already down.
But I'm talking about the ones that
just say something just to say
something just to say it.
Like I'm here too much, so I must be doing something wrong.
Yeah, like what? Or like love her heart, my nanny. And I mean, she is 80-something years old. So like almost 90, if not past 90. I'm not even really sure how old she is, but she is a very blunt woman. And if you got too much food on your plate, she will tell you you've got too much food on your plate.
Oh, absolutely.
If you need to lose weight, she will tell you you've packed on a couple of pounds.
My grandmother's the same way.
If you need to gain weight, she will tell you to go get yourself a milkshake. Like it's those, and I overlook it, I guess, because that's my grandmother. But it's the ones that aren't related to me that come in and they're like, oh, are you sick? You've lost weight. Oh, is what's going on with Jimmy? There's nothing wrong with directly telling a person, I just need an ear, or I'm asking for opinion up front.
And that's coming from Danny, our producer. He's lovely, sitting here laughing at us every now and then. But that is so true, because like I am the worst at that. Like I have a hard time going to people. And it's only because I have had so many people crap on me, and like family and stuff, people you should be able to trust.
And you can't.
And they're the first ones to backstab you. And so I think that might be why I'm more like that, because I've never, like, until recently, until my like adulthood, till I was 35 years old, I never really had friends that I could trust and go to and like vent to and not feel like I was a nuisance. Like, to me, that is the hardest thing, because when you're going through a lot, that's what you talk about,
Mhm.
because you know you're going through hell at the point,
Right.
and you're just looking for somebody to find some kind of daylight. Like you just need that light.
Just get it off your chest.
Yeah, and
you know?
so I think that is
And again,
that's
that's
important.
different than just volunteering the
Mhm.
information.
Yeah,
That's
and then
just
and quit assuming you know somebody's life because of Facebook.
yes.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Or because you see them out somewhere without their spouse.
Yes. Like that's
Oh my
just
gosh.
Lord have mercy. Me and Jimmy have two different lives most of the times. I would hate to see what people say. But you know what? And at the same time, I don't even care.
Well, and that's a part of the do better, be better. Stop! Don't talk behind people's backs. If you got
Yeah,
something
you
to say,
don't
say
have
it to
to.
me. I'm little. I don't know why nobody would
Or how
invite me to talk
about
behind my
just
back.
not worry about it?
Yeah.
How about that?
But
Like
if, but if you're
just
that
not worry
but
about
if you're that
it.
curious and it's bothering you that bad, go to the person.
Yeah.
Like don't like. Do you think da 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 da? Like I had people saying, you know, I was on drugs because I dropped weight too quick. Not one person come and ask me, "Are you on drugs? Do you have cancer? Are you sick?"
Mm-hmm.
No, not one person.
Not one person.
But I tell you, I heard so many rumors, and I was like, "It's called stress."
Mm-hmm.
Like I just don't eat. Anybody that knows me knows I eat like a baby bird.
So here's the thing that I cannot stand, and please don't ever, because the first person, I don't do the he said, she said stuff to begin with. So if you come to me and you say,
so and so said,
but don't say I said, nope, ma'am, we're going right then and we talking to so and so, and you're going with me, because why are they saying this to you?
Yep. Why are they comfortable saying that to you?
And why do you not want me to say anything? You know, that's just another do better, be better.
I mean, I'll say I'm guilty of saying that. Just don't bring me into it. Now, because if it's something I think somebody should know, I will be like, okay, look, this is what happened. However, I am only telling you this because I feel you need to know. I'm not going to sit there and bring something to your attention and then be brought into it.
Right.
Because I'm telling you out of love and because I care about you, I don't want to be brought in the problem. It's just kind of a heads up. Hey, keep an eye out on this. Because I had people give me a heads up that, you know, people would backstab me and things. And I have a problem with I trust you easily. I will trust you till you give me a reason not to. And that has bent my butt. Well, that's what I said. You have helped me so much with that. You didn't hear this from me, but
yes, I don't like that. Yes, I did hear it from you, and I'm going to go tell that I heard it from you.
Well, and that's
otherwise, don't tell me.
The only time I will do that is if I don't want to be in the middle. If it's somebody I care about, I don't want to be in the middle. I'm not going to be the middle person. I'm not Switzerland when it comes to two people I care about. But if there's something done, like I've gone to you about something I'm upset with a very close friend of ours, and you spoke to me because I'm like, I know I'm blowing it out of proportion. I know I'm just upset.
No, there's a difference. There's a difference in coming, because like that was a situation that involves you directly. Yes. Like you all, and it hurt your feelings or it upset you, and you wanted feedback. You know, that's different than going and saying, oh, Bobby Jane down the road said, Billy Bob across the street said,
John said.
Yeah. No, like don't
do that. It's because most of the time he said,
because you better have all day. We're going door to door to find out where it started and why.
And the funny thing is you'll get back to where it started, and they'll either A, not tell you the truth, or B, it's a completely different story than what you actually heard.
What it actually was.
I have actually gotten upset with somebody because I heard they had said something. This was when I was younger, and it was a very close friend of mine. I heard they said something, and instead of just talking to that person about it, I just shut them out. And I didn't speak to them or anything. Now I'll talk to you. I'll tell you I have a problem with you. But
and that's the way that it should be. But you should address it accordingly.
Yes. Well, I ended up. She had proof of what was said and what was done because she had it in text, and it was totally different than what I was told. So it was actually somebody just trying to cause problems, which is a lot of what he said, she said is.
Right.
Because
and why be that person? Like I don't understand.
What do you gain? I need to know what you gain by trying to make somebody else's life harder.
I do not understand that mentality. Like, can we just go into the new year
being a better person,
working on ourselves?
And if something's going to leave your mouth, think before you speak, because
don't hurt people's feelings.
Yeah,
clean up after yourself. Offer to help. Leave things better than you found it.
Yes.
It's not that hard. Like, be nice to your servers. Be nice, and if you're a server, be nice to your customers.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
well, and
if you're having a bad day, like that's a little different. Like I get But every day can't be a bad day.
I was about to say, if you have 3 bad days out of 100 days, I mean, we're human. Everybody's human.
Yeah.
You're gonna have bad times. But my whole thing is you can have a bad time, but when it leaves your mouth, it's not no longer your bad time.
It's
You're creating somebody else's. And to me, like I'm somebody people can vent to. I don't, because if you vent to me, that's where it stops. I don't go and do the he said she said.
Right.
I don't run my mouth. If I have a problem, I will go to that person. I don't. If I respect you. If I don't respect you,
it's but you can also like work to make somebody's day better. You know, I mean, there's been times that I've woke up in a bad mood and I fussed at my husband for no reason, just because he's opened his eyes too at the same time I opened my eyes.
Yep. You were breathing in my direction.
Yes. Like, what is your problem? I don't know. Quit talking to me. That's my problem.
Yeah,
it's uncalled for.
It's 8:32 in the morning.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
I get that. Like, I understand that, and I try to step away, but sometimes that puts me in a bad mood all day long, or that'll put him in a bad mood all day long. And for instance, like when I still worked with the company, the girls would text me constantly with stuff before I even made it through the door, sometimes over customer issues. And I would get so frustrated before I even got in my car to go to work. And there was somebody, I'd stopped to get coffee one day, and the person in front of me had paid for my order.
Oh, I had a woman do that for me at McDonald's, and I was having the worst day.
And it just changes your day. I'm just like, oh, there is good people out there.
Yeah, because I got to the window, and like a lot of people, like I drive my Escalade, and I don't have money. Like I just have a nice car. And this woman in front of me, she drove a very nice Dodge Durango, and it was like the RT. It was beautiful. And we get up to the window, and I was actually penny pinching to buy mine and my son's breakfast. And because I, didn't have really any money. And I get up to the window, and they said my order was paid for.
Isn't that the greatest? Like that just puts you.
And I cried the whole way home, like happy tears. But it was like, here I was aggravated because you know how you have to file in. Like she went in front of me.
Yeah.
And I was aggravated because I was like, it was my turn, but I was in the inner lane, and you know how that is.
And I've seen people that
I didn't honk at her. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't do anything for her to pay for my meal to be a smart aleck. I literally just like sat there and was like, what the crap, man? And I get up to the first window, and she's like, the lady paid for your meal. And I was like,
see,
and I started crying, and I like waved at her, and I was like, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's
just the little acts of kindness. You know?
Because this made me think of something, and this is literally is the do better, be better. If you see somebody that needs help, help them. I have had an instance where I was almost taken, so I'm a little bit more cautious about it. But there was an elder woman on 245 right by the Walgreens and Kroger and stuff at that light, the busy one. She wasn't going, and she was right in front of me, and the light had turned green. And I noticed she had slumped over. And so I went around her, put my SUV in front of her, and backed into her car, like not all the way to her car, but if she took off rolling, she couldn't roll either way. She was going to roll right into my SUV. And I got out, and I started just beating the crap out of her window, and come find out she had low blood sugar.
Oh, no. So she passed out.
She had passed out.
Well, I will wait until but you just reminded me of another story.
I got her aware enough, and I had already called 911. There was so many cars flying past me as I'm beating on her window. And it scared me because I'm in the middle of traffic, and you're flying past me, and you can clearly tell something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm freaking out trying to get this woman to wake
up. You're out of your car in the middle of the road. Yes, something's wrong. Yes. Like, I don't understand that concept.
Thankfully, I got her aware enough, and I was already on the phone with 911. I got her to Dairy Queen. She drove herself. I was like, I'm really not comfortable with you driving yourself, but I will let you around me. Go around me. I will follow you. So I followed her to the Dairy Queen. I waited for a cop to get there to check on her. And I made a Facebook post, and her daughter messaged me and let me know she had a low blood sugar episode, and she was on her way to get food. And when the light turned red, her sugar was already so low, she crashed. And
that's like,
she could have gone into a coma.
Yeah.
And what if I wouldn't have stopped?
Yeah.
Because what if her foot fell off the brake? I mean, she would have rode right in the middle of that intersection.
There's several times, we see people, and I get that it's not safe. It's not always safe this day and time to stop and help somebody that's stranded on the side of the road, because let's be honest, human beings can not be good people sometimes. For instance, this is what got me, because it reminded me of this story. Now, I don't know the full story. So apparently, a woman in New York.
The one that got lit on fire.
Yes. She was set on
By
fire
a homeless man.
by a man that I don't know if she was homeless, if he was homeless, if they were both homeless. Anyway,
Regardless,
I don't
everybody just stood
care.
there.
Yeah,
I
everybody
looked that up
just
after you
stood
told me
there.
about it.
Videoing it, nonetheless. They were videoing this
And I would have been the
woman.
one. I would have been the one with third-degree burns trying to help her because
But nobody did.
there is no way I could have just stood there the other day. And I have told you this story. So when we went to Gatlinburg that one time, and I almost got taken. Like I was actually surrounded by men with a van backed up to the door, and they were getting ready to grab me.
And nobody steps up.
No. And thankfully, Justin at the time, he had a bad feeling and he had gone to the bathroom. He come running out and they took off running.
Mhm.
So I knew what their plan was. So I'm very, very cautious now because I am a very petite woman. So I know it's easy to pick me up and just take me.
Run with you.
But like the other day when I was on my way down here, it was pouring down rain and there was a man walking. And I was kind of in a hurry to get down here. I think it might have been Halloween.
Oh, you stopped and picked him up?
I picked him up. I turned around and went back and got him because I was like, he's in work clothes. He's drenched. And come to find out, his truck had broke down almost 5 minutes from where he had already walked driving.
Yeah.
And I picked him up, and he wouldn't even let me take him all the way to where he wanted to go because I was like, I will take you. I have no problem. He was like, can you just drop me off at this road? And I was like, are you going to be like, are you okay to walk further? He goes, it's only like 3 houses into the road. I'm good. And when I went, he was scared to get in my SUV because he was like, it's so nice. I don't want to get your car wet. And I was like, I do not care. Just get in.
But I mean, again, I get it. It's a catch-22 because that's dangerous. You hear people
and I
like
know
that all the time.
I'm very aware, and I carry. So when I do something like
that situation, yes, it's scary. Mm-hmm. But literally watching somebody burn to death and not even throwing water on them like that, I don't understand that concept.
Help them stop. Like I would have taken my clothes off and thrown them on her.
Yeah,
and beat the crap out of her to beat it out.
Why stand in a doorway with your camera on?
Like, and I get the fear, especially in a city like that. So so I carry. I would be carrying. So that would have never even happened because I would have stopped it. Like I never in a million years would I ever use mine. However, if I need to protect somebody like that,
but
there
even
is
if
no way I could stay there.
Because you say, I would have. Sometimes you don't know until you're in that situation. Well, but I would like to say, I know once it got out there and, I seen somebody like that, I would try to help somehow. Like you said, take your shirt off, take your jacket off, whatever.
Yeah, it's the middle of winter. You're going to have a big thick coat on. Beat the crap out of them. Beat the fire out. Like it doesn't matter.
Just stand there and let it happen.
Well, and people don't understand that
and record it.
And you're right. Like you say, you would like to think that you would do something. And I'm pretty sure Danny said because it's more important to go viral than help those in need.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And the thing is you'll go viral more for helping somebody than you will for that kind of stuff. Because I never do anything nice to get a pat on the back.
Will you? Because this kind of goes back to the whole Michaela thing and the whole whoever talking about
if
them.
you look at his population to hers, there's a reason his page is nowhere near hers.
But again, I mean, people use that. I don't know. Like I'm very conflicted.
Well, and I always say I'm naive. I'm not really naive, but I like to think there's more people than worse people. So we started late.
Okay.
So I would like to think that there's worse, like there's more better people than there is worse. And I know that's naive, but in my world, I would like to think that.
And that, I mean, I guess that's kind of goes along with what we're saying is not be naive. Of course not. Don't be naive, but have that mindset. So that way you will do better to be better.
Well, and you said, you don't know until you're in that situation what you'll do. And I'd like to think that's what I would do. I'm 99% sure that's what I would do, only because most people, and I have a very quick reaction to things. Like I'm very aware. I'm very self-aware.
See, I'm not. I
am.
Now before, because we used to have to go door to door collecting when I was with the finance company. And that was very scary. And I guess at that time, I was kind of naive myself because I would say naive because I sure didn't think I was invincible. Like nothing. I just didn't think people, because I don't have that mindset.
Yeah.
So I didn't think other people would But you're a bill collector and you're going to the house
You
knocking
better
on the
be,
door.
yeah.
You better be prepared for what's about to happen coming your way.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I have had to pull my gun out on somebody, but it was a man and he had a baseball bat and he was very violent. He had already hit my brother and my dad. And I would have absolutely without a doubt because when
See,
it comes
you
to
know,
my
my
daddy,
husband always
mm-mm.
says, he always uses, scenarios. He's like, oh, if this happens, I'm doing this. If this happens, I'm doing that. And I don't know, like, I can't really say. I would like to say, yes, this is what I would do, and I just don't know that I would or not.
I think it's just how I was raised because my dad was like that, the quick reaction. My dad is through and through.
I guess my dad, he had a really quick reaction, but he was such a like calmer version than me. Like I do not go into situations like that
That's what
calm
our daddy
at
gave us,
all.
though. Our daddy gave us our attitudes, but we got our craziness elsewhere.
Yeah, because my dad is very calm. He was a
Mhm.
very calm man. He seemed to rationalize things. For instance, there was a time when I was pregnant with my oldest child. Um, for whatever reason, I had gone into work that day late. I hadn't even gone into work yet. I was getting ready in the bedroom, and I hear a crash in the house, in my house. So I look out the door or I look out our window and there is a back end of a car sticking out of our basement
Oh, nice.
because we kind of lived in a curve. Um, so this
They just
person
missed the
had just,
curve.
yeah, literally went straight into our basement.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
I went into all kinds of panics. And
So
first
you and
person I
Aubrey would be perfect
called
together.
was my daddy. I don't know why. I didn't call
I
911. I
call my
called my
daddy.
daddy.
I call my daddy.
So they called 911.
Mhm.
Of course, 911 got there before he did. But anyway, I was just livid. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening.
Well, when we wrecked our motorcycle, the same way I called my dad as soon as it happened.
So my dad was like, he just stood by, let me have my little fit.
Mhm.
And then he said, people were asking if we needed any help or if we needed anything. And he said, just let her go. When she calms down, she'll come to her senses and fix what needs to be fixed and handle what needs to be handled.
Yep.
But right now she's just going to fall apart.
See, and that's where you and I are different because I'm the calm in that. I think I don't know why. I don't have a clue why this is a part of my personality or who I am. But when bad things happen, I'm the calm. Like I think before I react. I take care of things.
Oh, not me. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off,
Well,
screaming and hollering, and
you
it's just
reminded me of
it's
something
crazy.
because my sister-in-law, I let her borrow my SUV because I had to go to work, and I worked all the way out in Louisville, and we were driving. I don't remember how I got to where I was going, but anyways, my SUV was at home, and she was like, "Hey, can I use your SUV to go and take Aubrey and whatever they were going to go do?" And I live on that bluff. Somehow, she dropped my SUV off the bluff, so it was teeter-tottering, and Aubrey opens the door and takes off run into my house instead of staying there with the car. And I was like, Aubrey, if my car would have taken off flipping, it would have thrown you. And she was so young, so she freaked out.
That's your reaction. It's your first reaction.
Well,
get away from the problem. I don't care if it's flipping or not.
Well,
I'm gone.
And my reaction was, are you all okay? A, and B, how tore up is my car?
Yeah.
Because I just knew those railroad ties had just destroyed underneath my car. The only thing, I had a scratch on my bumper, and it wasn't even noticeable. I only knew it because it was my car. And so I was like, whatever. And I needed an alignment because she dropped it hard.
Yeah.
I was like, well, at least she didn't go flipping down the hill. So there's the plus. And I'm at work, so I'm stuck at work trying to figure out how tore up my car is. And but now I've had things happen to where people have wrecked in front of me, and I'll be the one to go help them because for what I don't know why, I just can handle those situations.
Calm. Yeah.
And it's just a part of me. And then I might have nightmares for a few months because of what I've seen. Because I will stop at wreck sites. I will help because I was trained CPR and everything, and if I can help you, I want to. And so if it comes to that, whatever. Or if you just need somebody to talk to you to calm you down until help gets there, I don't care.
Now in those situations, I'm good at that. But
it's if you're in the situation.
That is what. Yeah. If I'm in the situation, then I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
No. But that is the part of me that I know I need to work on. I know that there are
But it's being
things
self-aware
about me that I need to work on. And I think that's all, that I think this is about. Just do better, be better. Like strive to be
Strive to be a better person.
a better person.
Nobody is going to be perfect. People are going to piss you off no matter what goes
and
on.
And that's okay, because there's always another day.
But you're human. And I'm one, I had
be okay with saying I'm sorry.
Very. And genuinely.
Yeah, mean it.
Because if you say you're sorry to me and then you do the same thing over and over,
that's not
sorry
being sorry.
Means crap.
That's not being sorry.
No, you're just wanting me to forgive your actions competitively.
Be okay. Like I said, be okay with
repetitively. Sorry, I was stuck on what word I was trying to say. I was like, gosh, what is that word? But
you were repetitively saying competitively.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't say it. I was like, there's a word that's on the tongue. I can't say it. But that's the thing, like with this episode, and we wanted to talk about it because I am people think negatively of me, and I've heard so many rumors about me for doing a good deed. And let me just be the first. I do not ever expect a pat on the back. Ever. When I tell you that I've done a good deed or something, don't tell me congratulate. I feel like there should be more people like that.
So what is that saying? The right hand should not know what the left hand is doing. I mean, that's
well, I'd have no idea because I've never heard that saying.
Oh, really?
No.
Like you're not supposed to, like you were saying, don't do the good deed for the attention or whatever. The boast. You're not supposed to.
You don't.
So I guess like if my right hand is doing something nice, my left hand doesn't need to know about it. Basically,
it kind of sounds like you're talking out both sides of your mouth. But however, when I tell you that I've done a good deed, it is not to be like, oh, you're such an amazing person. You've done this, blah blah blah. It is to be like, hey, look, I've done this and I'm doing this. Try do something good for somebody else that's not going to benefit you, because I'm doing something right now to where me and Abigail took over something, and we're taking care of a friend.
Set an example.
Yeah, and we're taking care of a friend that cannot take care of himself right now,
but that's different.
We don't ask for the attention.
That's different than going and taking. I think we talked about this on one of our other episodes with the social media. Always. Like one of the memes that's going around right now is the person that's giving the food to the homeless, but in that same shot, they've got their cell phone up here, taking a picture of it, ready to post it on social media.
Well, and
that drives me insane.
Do not do that, because let me tell you something. People that have to ask for help, most are embarrassed. And they don't want their picture out there. They don't want a video out there. Now, if you wanted to take a picture of the food,
even if they didn't care, don't do that.
But just even if you wanted to take a picture of the food and just put it on there, hey, help the homeless.
I wouldn't even do that. If I saw somebody that needed help,
you're just going to help them.
Just help them. I don't have to.
You don't need that pat on the back.
Come to anybody and tell them anything.
But I think that it's a good example, is why I'm saying, even if you don't post the video, that's embarrassing for those people. However, and they should not be embarrassed, because a lot of people that are in that situation, it's something they cannot handle. But if you want to tell people you're doing it to bring attention to it, do it in that manner.
Yes, if it's in a a benefit, or if you're
the cause.
do right. But I mean, if you're just driving down the road and you see somebody that you choose to get out and help, then that you should choose to do that without having the picture behind it to post on social media. I mean, that's just
I have something hilarious to say, because I just now thought about this, because we were talking about people that are homeless and things. We were in Nashville when Drew was in the hospital down there. And there was a homeless man in the middle of the road, and it was so funny. Not him being homeless, but his sign said, "Spread some cheese on this cracker."
Oh my God.
I have never laughed so hard. I missed my green light, because we were sitting at the red light, and Abigail and I was like, oh my gosh, get a picture of this sign. And he's sitting there dancing and shaking the sign and stuff. And of course I gave him money. I'm like, he's probably going to go buy alcohol, but he's freaking awesome.
Oh, well, and some of them don't even need it. But I mean, that's here or there. That's on them.
He was a veteran too, which was so funny. Danny said, I ran a homeless shelter, and we did not allow volunteers to take pictures in the shelter for that reason.
Exactly.
It's
very rude.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. The videos, absolutely not. And the only reason I said even just a picture of the food, if you're trying to bring awareness, if you need volunteers, you're trying to bring awareness to that cause.
Right. But there is no cause of if you're driving down the road and you just see somebody, or like this Danny's comment, he ran the homeless shelter. You can make posts saying, hey, I volunteer at this place. Would love to have more volunteers if
Mhm.
you're interested in it.
Yeah.
Or I know this place that could use the extra help if you
Mhm.
have something, that you can give towards this. That would be great.
Well, and if
But
something's put on your
going
heart,
in and taking a selfie in front of the shelter
yep,
and saying, "Hey, folks, look at me.
it's a nasty thing
There's
to
some
do.
people out here in some sleeping bags I'm getting ready to go give pillows to."
It's a nasty thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Because I had, we were leaving. I was pregnant with Caleb, and I had just gotten birthday money from my dad, and I was in Louisville, and there was a homeless, or he wasn't homeless. I'm sorry. He was on the side of the road with a sign that said his wife had just found out she had cancer, and they were looking for help. And I had $100 bill. That's all I had, and I gave it to him, and I said, "I'm giving you this because it's on my heart to give this to you.
Mm-hmm.
I pray you're not lying."
Yeah.
And I don't
Because
think
that happens a lot too.
But I don't think he was.
Again, do better, be better.
he-
Don't lie about stuff like that.
This man broke into tears
Yeah.
and like started praying at my window.
And
And I was like, there is no way he's lying. And if he is, my gosh, he was good.
Yeah.
Because he already had my money. I mean, he didn't have to do none of that. And but that's one of those things.
Because you do see people or posts of people saying, oh, I seen the ones standing, at Walmart with the sign, and then watched them go get in a very nice vehicle or
that
whatever.
I have a problem with.
Yeah.
And now if you're homeless or if you're like that man, and I think he did genuinely need the money because his wife had cancer. And he made a comment to me, and I'm going to share it. It's, to do with race, but I don't care. He was a black man, and he said, I never in a million years dreamed a little white girl would be the one helping save my wife. And I was like,
and that's sad. That's sad.
Exactly. And I'm sorry,
that
but if you look at somebody's color and that's what you see, you are not a good human.
No.
Like, keep your distance from me because I will let you know. And when he said that to me, it was like, I understand why you feel that way, but I wish that's not how you looked at me though.
Yeah.
Like,
your person.
Well, I always say I'm blind to color, and then somebody said that was ignoring or belittling the person. And I was like, no, I just mean that I see everybody the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that's
I'm not.
So many people should.
And I said, that hurt me that he felt that way. Like, it almost destroyed me because I was like, I didn't do that because of your color, sir.
Right.
I did it because I genuinely believe your wife
needed
help. It was on my
somebody
heart.
that needed help, and
And
it was laid on your heart.
That's something else I feel like people need to realize.
And there's shysters out there. There are shysters out there that will take that from you, and
especially if they deny food.
I guess
I know you're not in need.
I have a hard time with that myself. I will give to a cause that I know is good. But if I see somebody standing on a street corner somewhere, I have a hard time.
If you're homeless, with that. I mean, if I have food or something in my car, or if you have a dog, I will go buy the dog.
But people give, and this is something that people can do too. They put those little bags in your car. They keep them, with soaps and food
I used
or snacks or drinks.
I used to do that, and I used to keep like your hygiene stuff because a lot of homeless people, they can't afford that because hygiene stuff is so expensive right now.
Everything's expensive.
But I used to keep little bags in my car for that, and then I stopped because the price of living has skyrocketed, and I felt bad for doing it. But I had one time, I've only had it happen once, thank God. But a man, I went and bought him. I don't remember. It was something at a fast food restaurant, but he was standing there and his sign said he was hungry. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go buy him food because I didn't know if I believed him. It wasn't very believable. And he denied the food. And I was like, so you're not very hungry?
Yeah, if you're hungry, you go
because it was a nice food. I really think I went to Wendy's or something and got him like a large meal. And I think I even got him like an extra burger and nuggets because I was like, well, if you don't like burgers, he'll like nuggets. And if he does like all of it, he'll eat it later.
Right.
And he refused it. And I even got him a drink. Like, I got him a large drink, and he refused it.
That's not what they want.
So I mean, but when you're
will close this because
I want to say one more thing though. When you're being a better person, be a better person because it also makes you feel good. If you feel like you're going to do something bad, walk away. Because I've started doing that in my adult life. I don't feel like I'm being a negative person towards people. I just walk away. If I have an issue with you, I just don't want to be around you. You don't come out of my mouth. I don't think about you. Just leave me alone. But when it comes to doing better and being better, if you see somebody that's down, I have seen this so many times. One smile can bring up 7 smiles.
Mhm.
Like if you just walk around, I was having the worst day when that old woman got attacked at Walmart. And I was still walking around telling everybody Merry Christmas and smiling.
So that's what I was
Just-
getting ready to say when I said we will close this with saying.
Sorry, I can't.
No,
see
no,
it.
no.
I can't see that for a reason. I could see it last time.
I
It was
moved
bad.
it, and she does scroll off really bad.
If I read too far.
Receiving rudeness is a domino effect, as so is being nice.
Being nice
is a domino effect. Choose that domino effect that you want in your life.
Yes.
You know, for me, I would much rather choose the nicer part. So that way, because when other people around you are miserable, are rude, are not happy or whatever, it does affect you. When other people around you are happy and are in a better mood and are not really pleasing, but
they
pleasure.
Bring they bring, even if like I'm having a bad day and I come around you and you're like happy and smiling and everything, I will feed into that energy because it helps.
It is a domino effect. So choose the domino effect that you want, you know, and try to smile.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. You know, so for the upcoming year, guys, we challenge you here at Longbranch Talks to be better, do better.
And fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Do better, be better. Just
you don't
be
feel
a
like
better
smiling,
person.
Smile anyway.
Smile anyway.
And make everybody else around you feel it, because it
makes a difference.
It'll definitely make a difference for a lot of people.
So we appreciate you following us. You can also follow us on TikTok under Kristen and Amber. We are also on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Spreaker, iHeart, and Spotify.
And we're going to start going live on YouTube.
Yes. And we are also here on Facebook. We love the feedback. You know, join in if you see us online. Talk to us. We love the interacting.
And if you have a topic you want us to bring up, mention it in our comments, because we will talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk
about it. We'll dig into it until we find out the answers.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all listening, and we hope you all have a happy new year, because
happy new year, you all. Yeah, it'll be 2025 before you can see us again.
So have a good new year, guys. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.